I have with me Laurent Zimmerli, and he is, well, I'm just going to call you the head booth design of Xponential 2022. Welcome and good morning.
Thank you, Romeo. Thanks for the flattering intro. And yeah, I'm actually wearing my jacket here because it feels more like Swiss mountains than like Miami Beach, right?
I know, it's crazy. But this morning, it's starting. The expo hall is going to open any minute. And we decided, we're going to take our viewers on a tour around our booth because you designed the booth. You've been working on it for months. And who better than to talk about this work of art than Laurent? So I thought, let's do that. Let's have Trent grab the camera and follow us around the booth. Shall we do that?
Absolutely, let's do that. So, I mean, when it comes to designing the booth, it's always like you start thinking about how you want to basically walk around to people, how you want to tell the story so that people can get an impression and an understanding of what we're doing. And so this side is where we expect most people to basically enter to our booth. So we have the big Otarian sign on top. They're going to see us actually from far away. And the first and most eye-catchy thing is this big screen over here, basically representing the workflows, the drone workflows that we're enabling with the Otarian software platform. So it shows different examples of workflows, how people, how end users, operator are using drones powered by Otarian and the software components that we provide to basically implement their workflows, from capturing data to transmitting data into the cloud and then working with the data to basically get done what they need to get done. So this is really focused on end user workflows, number one, that we're going to talking about. It's really about the value that we can create together with our partners and the ecosystem to the end user.
Fantastic. And now, then what do we have on this side?
Right. So if we go to the back side, this is all about how we enable the ecosystem. So how we work with our partners, how we enable drone manufacturers, payload manufacturers, software developers to leverage our platform to create the solutions that we then can provide to the end users and to basically create those workflows that we saw over here. And of course, when it comes to enabling the software platform, it's all about Skynode here. Skynode is basically a reference design of hardware which enables the whole software platform. Software platform that runs on the drone, so autopilot, flight control, but also the operating system that connects the payloads, for example, camera payloads, captures the data, geotagging, all what needs to be done like in flight over here, controlled by our mission control software here. We're actually seeing the live video feed here. So that's a simulation setup, which is using the real camera over here. So we can even plan a mission if we want to. We're here at the convention center, as you can see. We could plan a little mission, execute the mission in simulation while taking real pictures over here. And of course, at the same time, we can also see all the data in our Otarian suite, which basically is connected over a 4G network. The Skynode delivers all the data right into the cloud. And this is really what we mean by turning a drone into a connected autonomous system, and also basically enabling this by bringing the data directly to the cloud.
This is a fantastic setup. I love it. I mean, it shows that workflow so well that there's no SD card. There is nothing. It's moving like magic through the entire workflow.
It's end-to-end, delivering what needs to be captured and delivering it to the place where you actually process it and transform the data into information and insights, right?
Brilliant.
And of course, so this is how we present the platform that can be used. This is how we enable the ecosystem, but we're also having different items of our partners, of our ecosystem partners, not only drones. Let's first look here. We have some of the new payloads, the phase 1 payload that works well. Just two examples. We saw the Sony on the other side. There's also the new Bremsy gimbal, which is compatible with the Pixel payload bus. So these are examples of the payload ecosystem. We're also, of course, having partners on the software side, like Esri. So these are really the components that we showcase here from the ecosystem. And of course, there's also a selection of drones.
Oh yeah, let's look at the drones.
Unfortunately, there's not enough space to have all the drones of our ecosystem here. But we have a couple here, like the FreeFly Astro, the Vector from Quantum Systems, and then the new kid on the block, we have a Zoe from Ace Core, which is now also powered by Ethereum. We're going to talk about this later in one of our interviews, later today, actually. And this is just a small selection, of course, leveraging that little space that we have to display the drones. And then, of course, we have our stage over here. So I think we probably can move back here, but just to give you an impression how that looks like, with a nice on-air sign on top, which is kind of constantly on. Yeah, so again, when it comes to designing the booth, for us, it's really, the challenge is always how to explain the platform, the software, because it's not really tangible, right? And the challenge is also to explain or to visualize the ecosystem, because there's so many components, so many partners. You can never have all of them present, but you still want to give provide the right impression of the ecosystem. And then we can never forget about the end users, because that's where we create the value together with the partners of our ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you have done an amazing job in creating all of this. And you're right. You know, our ecosystem has grown dramatically, and it's so difficult to showcase all of it. So
Absolutely.
It's great to have that kind of success, because we're seeing firsthand how the ecosystem has grown over the last time since we talked about at AUVSI in Atlanta. It has already grown since then quite dramatically.
It did. Actually, only in the last couple of weeks, there were so many press releases, and also this week following up. So there's release after release talking about new partnerships and new members of the ecosystem. It's super exciting.
It is. And a lot of this will also then happen on this stage.
Absolutely.
We saw the stage with the on-air sign. It's pretty much on the entire time for a reason, because we have so many guests come and spend time with us, share their stories, experiences, not only about Ethereum, but the entire drone industry. Exactly. Isn't that exciting?
It is, absolutely is. Yeah.
And you will be hosting a lot of our guests.
I will be on the other side of the table a lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah, and you spoke about designing, and there's designing goes beyond just designing a booth. There's more to it, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, you brought two examples here, right? It looks the same, but it is different, right? So explain me, maybe talk about patches in general first for a second.
Okay, so we have these patches, and there's so much story, there's so much culture that goes into the design of a patch. You know, many of you may know I used to work on space missions, and every space mission has a patch, and there goes so much thinking into the design of a patch, because it's a storytelling piece. It's not only something that you wear on your shoulder or your chest, but it's something that you talk about. And so a patch design is something you really take seriously.
Like a booth design, right?
Exactly. Now, we have two different patches. We have this one, which is the original patch.
That was version 1, right?
That was version 1. And version 1, you know, shows our Ethereum ecosystem and the connected devices, how they all feed into our software solutions. And we have this wide open sky in the back. And version 2 has a couple of different changes. So, are you ready?
I am.
So, version 2 of our Ethereum patch has not only, again, a little bit of a different outline of our ecosystem, because we've grown so much. We have now additional fixed-wing VTOL platforms in our ecosystem, so we're showcasing them a little bit more broadly. But there is a star in the sky.
Yeah, that caught my attention before. So tell me about that star.
Well, as I was saying, this is a storytelling patch. So now we have our first life rescued by an Ethereum-powered drone, and this star represents that one life that we have, that one first life that we have now rescued. So now we can see the difference between the two. There is this star, and it keeps us not only on our toes, but honest, because we want to fill this patch with stories. And that is the goal of our patch design. And this new patch, we will hand out to a select few people that will join us here at the Ethereum booth.
Absolutely.
And what's really cool is it has the Velcro on the back, so it goes really nicely on on a piece here or on a backpack.
Even on a backpack, right?
Yeah, you love your backpack patches. So I'm super excited about this.
Nice. Thanks for telling us about it.
Yeah, and so this is it for our first official live broadcast.
Day one.
Day one. It's actually day two, but the expo hall is opening on day two, so this makes our booth day one live. So I'm gonna now sign off and go a little back into the cabin. Back here, we didn't even show the cabin.
We didn't show the cabin.
We gotta show the cabin.
No, we don't. We're gonna do that tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow morning we're gonna show you the cabin. You gotta tune in because the cabin.
That's the big surprise for tomorrow.
Is one of the best pieces about this booth, the cabin. So tune in tomorrow morning, same time, same place. We will be talking about recap of day one and the famous cabin. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.